Hello friends, I'm Lisa Duffy with Magnolia Skin Essentials. And you know, when I was choosing my business name, I live in the Charleston, South Carolina area, and Magnolia seemed to be sort of an automatic shoe-in. But Magnolia stands for so much more. Not only does it have amazing skin benefits, but to me it represents the strength and beauty of women. And I think that we're at a point in time right now in our society where it's really important to build each other up and to focus on positive things and people who are really out there doing wonderful things. And that's why I'd like to introduce you today to a woman named Khayla Butler. She is a sought-after realtor here in the Charleston area, but she has a very, very inspiring story that is really important to me to share with you because she is sort of that Magnolia. She represents strength and courage, and she really has an amazing story, and she's very beautiful as well. So I am glad you're watching, and I hope you enjoy this little presentation, this little conversation with Khayla that I had a week ago or so. So Khayla, thank you so much for having this conversation with me today. I think that your story is extremely inspirational, and that's why I wanted, it was hopeful that you would come on and talk about your experiences with me. So I would just like to start from the beginning with your childhood and how you were raised and what kind of memories you have.
Okay. Well, I grew up first in Charleston. I'm born and raised in Charleston, and I spent a good bit of my childhood in Charlotte, North Carolina. Those were some of my fond memories. I really loved Charlotte. But when I got back into middle school, we moved back to South Carolina. I have 4 brothers and 1 sister. I am the oldest of 6 kids. And growing up with that many kids, you can only imagine how fun that was. That was a lot of fun. We did a lot of things together. We were very family oriented, as we are now. Um, and my parents, they always taught us to just love on one another, forgive quickly, and just always be there for one another. So in losing them, that really, really helped us later on in life. We truly learned to stick together and, just work through tough times together. So.
They sound like really amazing people. I like the fact that they taught you guys to love each other, but also forgive quickly. I think that's a great statement for our time. Forgive quickly. People are happier, more productive, and it's just a better way, to live life. So wonderful. So what did your dad do?
So my dad and my mother, they worked together. They actually did everything together. I mean, when I say everything, they did everything together. My dad was a new construction builder. So he built custom homes for his clients, and my mom handled the financing and the taxes portion, the finance part of getting them funded for the new construction homes. So she handled all his finances, and he handled the building and the development of things. So that's what they did together.
Sounds like it was a big project or, a big business if you're helping people in that many ways. All very important, of course. And so he built that business from start to finish by himself with your mom.
Nice. Yeah, they did have a partner, and Actually, that's why we lived in Charlotte, because they built the business, they had the partner, but slowly the partner was stealing and it caused the demise of their company. So around about 2002, they kind of had to like start all over again, and do it here back in Charleston. So
Wow.
yeah, that one was a little tough. My dad did take that hard,
Yeah.
but what he showed him and my mother, what they showed us was perseverance. They never stopped, as much as it did hurt. And that business was like their seventh child. They still kept going. They never stopped. Yeah.
Wonderful. What a great example for all of us
Hmm.
and for, other people in the community. That's wonderful. And so
Yeah.
um, when you were 16, tragedy struck.
No,
No, when you
I
were,
was 19.
yeah.
I was 19 years old when my dad passed away. He died 6 days after I graduated high school. And that was devastating, honestly. I just couldn't imagine life without him, because we truly always had my dad and my mother, and they always was there, and whenever somebody would bully me in school or do something, I would always be like, I'm gonna get my dad on you. So imagine being a young girl just getting out of high school, and you have this future that you're looking to, and you're expecting your parents to be there, and you lose your dad. It was just really, really, really hard, and really different.
And
Yeah.
what happened to him?
My dad ended up passing away from congestive heart failure. He passed, it happened pretty quickly. Like, it went from him swelling to the next thing we know, he's so swollen that he couldn't move. So we got him to the hospital. They told us it was congestive heart failure. They started being able to relieve some of the water off of his body, and he spent 3 days in the hospital, and he ended up passing.
I'm so sorry to hear that. And then,
Yeah.
so it was you kids and your mom.
Yeah. My mom came home that night, and she told us, she walked through the door, and all I remember is seeing the patient belongings bag in her hand
Mhm.
and no daddy. So I'm like, wait. And, like, I started putting two and two together. And then the next thing I know, all I did was fall to the floor, and my siblings, they were all sleeping, because it was late at night. It was like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And when she came in, all she could do was cry. And she picked me up off the floor, and we're crying together, because it was just like, really, this is our new reality. That was tough. And my mother was she was in a dark place after my dad passed, because she felt like she wanted to go too. She's like, well, how am I supposed to raise all of y'all,
Right.
without him? Hmm. And I always told her, I was like, Mama, I'm here. I'm going to help you raise these kids. They're my siblings, but I'm going to help you the best way I can. I'm the oldest. And, literally right after all that, my mom, she tried. She tried for a long time. And I would always see the sadness, because to go from having your partner with you every single day to him not being there at all was hard on her. And literally, we like to say that she died from a broken heart, because she ended up passing a year and 10 months to the date from my dad. My dad died June the 12th of 2009, and she died April the 12th of 2011.
Wow.
And the doctors could not truly figure out what caused her body to just start shutting down. So,
Yes, I've heard of many people who have died of a broken heart, and um, that's just the way it is for some people. They can't live without their life partner, and
mhm.
it does take that health toll on them, and that's truly tragic. So here you were at 20,
I
21.
was 20 years old.
Yeah, and you had children to take care of. What was that?
Yes, literally, I was 20. The next oldest was 16, 15, 13, 10, and 7. He was going to be turning 8 that June. But literally it was no time to cry. It was no time to just stop and dwell in the fact that now I'm parentless. I don't have any parents, nor do my siblings. It was just go mode for me. So I literally just went into, I have to take care of these kids. I have to make sure they're okay. And they're looking at me. So I can't show any sign of weakness, pretty much is the mind state that I set up in my mind. And I just remembered my parents' voice saying, Khayla, you gotta take care of your siblings. It would be days when they're leaving to go to work. Help your aunt with your brothers and sisters. Don't. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, well, she's here. Why do I have to watch them too? And they're like, nope, take care of your siblings. But little did I know, them being so tough on me and always pushing me to do the best that I can really, really helped me out in the end with raising all of them by myself, because we didn't have much of no money in the bank when my mom passed. And my parents had lost so much due to the 2009 economic crash. So it was tough. It was really, really tough.
Wow. Thank goodness your parents were so strong and so proactive and gave such a great example, because, that gave you what you needed. I'm sure you would agree. And then that in turn was such a wonderful example for all your siblings to
It
see
was.
that you keep going. You don't give up. And so how old is the youngest today?
Today he is 18 and he is doing an amazing job. He reminds me so much of my dad. He is fully committed to go to Western Carolina to play football this coming fall for college. And I am super proud of him. He's just an amazing young man.
That is really excellent. And the others, they went on to do great things.
Great things. Yeah. My sister graduated college and she's now becoming a new loan officer. So me and her get to team up a little bit there and sell some real estate together. And I'm sure my parents would be happy for that. And my other brother the oldest boy, he ended up having a baby. He's a merchant marine. And the second oldest boy, he has a little girl that's 2. She's our first niece, and we just love her to pieces. Her name's Elena. And then it's Ephraim, and Ephraim just fully committed to Howard University, a HBCU in Washington, D.C., and he's gone there to play basketball. So I'm truly proud of all of them. They're all doing great things with their life.
That is
And
just wonderful. That is just wonderful.
yeah,
And as I mentioned, it's extremely inspirational. We're going through just a really difficult time. I think so many families are challenged by, what's happening in the world today. And um, with all the people who are experiencing downtime, whether it's financial or they lost their job or whatever, what you have to offer in telling your story is so great. It's so encouraging, because it's easy to just sort of, you know, fall down and feel sorry for yourself. I mean, that's a human thing. It's not an age thing. It happens to everybody. So
hmm
um, if you could offer encouragement to anyone who finds himself in a position like that, just feeling completely discouraged and maybe not seeing a light at the end of the tunnel, what advice would you offer them?
Well, one of my favorite, I have 2 favorite scriptures that I had to use to overcome the challenge of raising all of my siblings. One was Proverbs 3, verse 5 through 6, which is basically saying, acknowledge God in all your ways. So lean not to your own understanding, in all thy ways acknowledge God, and he shall direct thy path. So when I didn't know which way to turn, all I knew is that as I take that next step, God is going to order my footsteps. He's going to direct my path. And then another great scripture that I used was, be anxious for nothing, but with prayer and supplication, make your requests known before God. So I knew that he was going to order my footsteps. He was going to direct my path. And I couldn't allow anxiety to overcome or overtake me, because anxiety is just another form of fear. And in allowing fear to overtake you is false evidence appearing real. So even though things may look a particular way, it doesn't mean that that's the way things are going to be forever, or that does not mean that that's your reality. And I had to learn that I just had to take things day by day, that God was going to restore me and just show me what I needed to do so that I could take care of my kids. And he wasn't going to allow me to fail. He was going to make sure that as I go and I put my faith to work, things were going to happen and get better. So you have to trust that things are going to get better over time, and that this is just a phase, or, your trial that you have to go through to get to the next step.
Yes, that's beautiful and very, very encouraging. You're obviously a virtuous person because you have great faith in God and you have a lot of trust in Him. So, would you say that a lot of this was just you're doing your faith in God, coupled with your faith in God, or was there some luck along the way? Did you have people who just showed up and helped out in sort of a
Well,
unexpected way? Was there any
well, sorry, I'm cutting you off. It really goes back to, no, it wasn't all me. And it was God putting the right people in place as I take those steps and as I go, because there was times where I felt like money should have picked in or picked up what I needed to happen, and I didn't have the money, but God sent the right people to be able to help me with certain things. So like, even where I live now, the house that I'm buying, the gentleman that we were renting the house from originally, we didn't have the money to pay him. We didn't have the money at all. And when I called him and I told him that my mother passed away, he literally said, "How can I help you?"
Wow.
And in hearing that, it was kind of like like I'm taken back. I'm like, what? What do you mean? I owe you money. I don't know how I'm going to even pay you, and it was amazing just to see that he believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. He believed that, you know what, it's going to get better for you. You're going to figure it out. But right now, how can I help you? Don't concern yourself with the fact that you need to pay me today. Don't concern yourself with that. Just get through this moment right here. And literally, that was one of the most helpful things that could have happened, where I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have the money to pay this man. And he just had, I don't know, so much mercy and just grace, just to say, hey, it's going to get better. Hold off a second. Just let me know when you get it.
Yeah.
It's literally what he said. Let me know when you get it. And I overcame that. It really helped me.
What a blessing. I mean, especially, I can't imagine the stress you had, that huge burden that you were carrying, because you were now responsible for all these kids, and the business hadn't fared well, and you were just stuck. So that's an incredible blessing.
Yeah.
And he will be rewarded for that. For that.
Yes, he needs to be.
Yeah. He enabled you to flourish, and now you are a very successful realtor in the Charleston area, and you're also doing something for the community with your brother, right?
Yes, me and my brother did host a couple basketball camps just to get back to kids that looked up to him. And this year we didn't get to do anything yet, or 2020 because of the coronavirus and people crowding together. But we do plan to do more this coming 2021, just to give back to the community and just talk to kids and let them know that, despite of whatever you got going on in the home, things always get better. Yeah. Yeah, they
Well,
always get better.
that's beautiful. And I am excited for people to watch this video and hear your story because it is powerful and it is timely because so many people are struggling. So, Khayla, thank you for, your display of virtue, and thank you for not being afraid to face the challenges that you were faced with. And I totally wish you the best. And I think that your story is one that's going to help a lot of people. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to share. Thanks for having me on today and just letting me tell my story.
Well, I hope you enjoyed listening to Khayla's story as much as I did. And I hope that it inspires you to go out and do great things, even in the face of adversity, even when people are telling you, no, you can't do it. And I also wanted to say, if you yourself have an inspiring story or you know someone who does, please reach out to me at team@magnoliaskinessentials.com. I would love to hear about that and possibly interview someone for a future video. Thank you so much for watching.